The massive council chamber floated in space like a crystal bubble. Inside, representatives from 12 different alien species sat around a curved table that glowed with soft blue light. This was the Galactic Council, the group that made decisions for most of the known galaxy. Ambassador Vornash of the Zalathi Empire clicked his mandibles in frustration. His insect-like body stood 8 feet tall, covered in dark green armor that grew naturally from his skin. "The Korvax have no right to that system," he said, his voice buzzing through the translator. The Zalathi Empire claimed it first. Across the table, Representative Kayal of the Korvax Confederacy spread his forearms wide. His gray skin rippled with patterns of light that showed his emotions.
"First means nothing if you cannot hold it.
The system has 3 planets rich in deuterium. The Korvax need this fuel for our ships." High Mediator Silvara of the Aetheri floated a few inches above her chair. Her body looked like it was made of blue glass with thoughts visible as sparkles of light moving through her transparent head. The Aetheri were the oldest species in the Council. They had never lost a war in 3,000 years because they could see a few seconds into the future. "Both of your claims have merit," Silvara said in her musical voice. "We must examine the legal documents carefully." The Vormak representative, a being made of living crystal that hummed with energy, leaned forward. "While you argue about papers, pirates raid the shipping lanes near that system. Perhaps neither of you can protect it properly." Vornash stood up, his 6 legs clicking against the metal floor. "The Zalathi fleet is the strongest in the galaxy. We have 50 dreadnoughts. Each one carries 1,000 fighter craft. Do not question our strength." "Numbers mean nothing," Cal responded. "The Korvax ships use adaptive shielding. Your weapons would be useless after the first few shots." The argument continued for another hour. Other species representatives watched with various levels of interest. The plant-like Florani swayed gently in their seats. The machine intelligence called the Syntheri processed thousands of scenarios in seconds. The aquatic Delphini floated in their water-filled environment suits. This was normal for the Galactic Council. Different species argued about territory, trade routes, and resources. They had been doing this for over 500 years. Everyone knew their place in the hierarchy. The Aetheri were respected for their wisdom and power. The Zalathi had the largest military. The Vormak controlled the best energy technology. The system worked even if it was slow. Suddenly, every alarm in the station activated at once. Red lights flashed. A voice spoke in all languages simultaneously. "Proximity alert. Unidentified vessel detected. Distance 3,000 kilometers." Everyone in the chamber froze. 3,000 kilometers was impossibly close. Ships had to drop out of faster-than-light travel at least 100,000 kilometers from any station or planet. The gravity wells made it too dangerous to come closer. Whatever had appeared had broken the fundamental rules of space travel. "Show us," Silvara commanded. A hologram appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed a ship unlike anything they had seen before. The vessel was 2 kilometers long, painted matte black with sharp angular edges. It looked like someone had taken a blade and given it engines. The hull was covered with what appeared to be overlapping armor plates, each one the size of a small building. But the weapons were what made everyone stare. Turrets covered every surface. Some were recognizable as plasma cannons but modified in ways that seemed impossible. Others were completely unknown. Strange pods lined the sides that could be missile launchers or something worse. The entire ship radiated menace. "What is that thing?" whispered the Florani representative, her leaves trembling. The Syntheri was already analyzing. "Unknown configuration. Material composition, cannot determine. Power output, reading errors, possibly equipment malfunction. The numbers are impossibly high." Vornash recovered first. "It is just one ship. My fleet will destroy it if it threatens us." But his voice lacked its usual confidence. A communication signal came from the unknown ship. The universal translator worked for a moment, then produced a clear message in perfect galactic standard. "Terran Union Warship Defiance requesting permission to approach the station. We come in peace with diplomatic intentions." Silence filled the chamber. No one had heard of the Terran Union. No one knew what humans were. "Terran?" Kal asked. "Is this some new colony we have not heard about?" The Aetheri High Mediator closed her glowing eyes and reached into the future. Suddenly she gasped and pulled back. "I cannot see them clearly. The future around them is clouded. This has never happened before." That statement sent fear through the room. The Aetheri could always see the future, at least a few seconds ahead. It was what made them unbeatable in battle. Should we respond? Asked the Delphini representative, bubbles rising in his tank. Before anyone could answer, the ship moved. It did not accelerate like normal vessels. One moment it was 3,000 kilometers away. The next moment it was 500 kilometers from the station, facing the main docking port. Every defensive weapon on the station automatically targeted the ship. Hundreds of plasma cannons and missile systems locked on. The Zalathi fleet stationed nearby powered up their weapons. Another message came from the Defiance. We notice your defensive systems are active. This is understandable. We will maintain this distance until you are comfortable. Captain Maria Chen would like to speak with the Council if permitted. Maria Chen, Silvara repeated the strange name. A female, I think, based on the linguistic patterns. Vornash activated his communicator. Unknown vessel, you have violated 17 safety protocols by your method of arrival. Explain how you jumped so close to our station. There was a pause. Then a new voice came through, calm and professional. Ambassador, I am Captain Chen. I apologize for the surprise. Our navigation systems work differently than yours. We can transition closer to gravity wells because our drives use quantum tunnel effects rather than standard hyperspace. We meant no threat. The syntheri made a mechanical sound of disbelief. Quantum tunnel effects for faster-than-light travel? That is theoretically impossible. The energy requirements alone would need a star's worth of power. Not a whole star, Captain Chen replied, and there might have been humor in her voice. Only about 12% of one, actually. That statement made everyone stare at the hologram again. 12% of a star's power output? The most advanced Vormac energy systems could barely harness 1% of a star's power, and they were the masters of energy technology. You said you come in peace, Silvara said carefully. What does the Terran Union want? To introduce ourselves, Captain Chen answered. Humanity has been traveling the stars for some time now. We have observed the Galactic Council and believe it is time to make formal contact. We request permission to send a diplomatic shuttle to your station. The council members looked at each other. An unknown species with impossible technology wanted to talk. They had appeared from nowhere with a warship that broke all known rules of physics. Vornash spoke first. How do we know you will not attack? Ambassador, if we wanted to attack, we would not have announced ourselves, Captain Chen said simply. The Defiance is operating under diplomatic protocols. Our weapons are powered down to maintenance levels. We are not here to fight. We are here to talk. Maintenance levels? The Vormac representative's crystal body flickered with alarm. Your weapons are not even fully powered? That is correct. Full power would be unnecessary and potentially alarming. The threat was polite but clear. This ship, with its weapons barely active, was confident it could handle any situation. What could it do at full power? Silvara made a decision. Captain Chen, you may send one shuttle. It will be scanned thoroughly. Any sign of weapons or hostile intent will result in immediate action. Understood and appreciated, High Mediator. The shuttle will launch in 5 minutes. It carries only myself and 2 aides. We look forward to meeting you. The communication ended. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Who were these humans? Where did they come from? How did they develop technology that seemed impossible? And the question no one wanted to ask, but everyone thought, what did they really want? Outside the station, the Defiance hung in space like a sleeping predator, waiting to see what would happen next. The council members watched their screens as a small craft left the Defiance. The shuttle was about 30 meters long, with the same sharp angles as its parent ship. It moved smoothly through space, approaching the station at exactly the permitted speed. Scanning now, announced the syntheri. Its mechanical voice carried confusion. The shuttle hull is unusual. It appears to be made of layered materials. Metal, ceramic, something organic, and I cannot identify the fourth component. Weapons? Vornash demanded. His fleet remained at battle readiness. Weapons trained on both the shuttle and the Defiance. None that I can detect, but 30% of the shuttle's interior is shielded from our scanners. The shielding is passive, not powered. The material itself blocks our sensors. The Vormac representative hummed with concern. How can mere materials block our best sensors? Unknown, but there are 3 life signs aboard. Carbon-based, warm-blooded, bipedal. They match no species in our database. The shuttle entered the docking bay. Through the observation windows, the council could see it land perfectly in the center of the designated area. Steam vented from ports along its sides. The rear ramp began to lower. 3 figures walked out. They wore simple gray uniforms with blue trim. No armor, no environment suits, no breathing apparatus. They simply walked out into the station's atmosphere as if they belonged there. The aliens stared in shock. The station's atmosphere was a careful compromise that allowed all council species to survive, though none found it perfect. It had taken years of negotiation to agree on the exact mixture of gases. Yet these humans breathed it without any visible difficulty. The one in front was clearly Captain Chen. She appeared to be female by the standards of most bipedal species. About 180 centimeters tall, black hair tied back in a simple style. Her skin was a warm brown color. Her eyes moved quickly, taking in everything around her, but it was the way she moved that made the security guards nervous. Each step was perfectly balanced. Her arms stayed loose at her sides, ready to react. This was someone trained for combat, despite her peaceful appearance. The two behind her were also human. One male, pale-skinned with red hair, one female, dark-skinned with short black hair. Both moved with the same controlled grace as their captain. They were met by a security detail of 6 Zalathi warriors, each holding plasma rifles. Captain Chen stopped exactly 3 meters away and did something with her hands, placing her palms together and bowing slightly. "I am Captain Maria Chen of the Terran Union Warship Defiance," she said. Her voice was clear and carried across the docking bay. "I request permission to address the Galactic Council." Vornash himself had come to meet them, unwilling to show fear by staying in the council chamber. "You will submit to additional scanning first." "Of course." Chen spread her arms wide and stood still. The Zalathi ran their scanners over the 3 humans. The devices beeped and showed confusing readings. "Their bone density is extremely high," one guard reported. "Muscle fiber density is also unusual. They appear to be much stronger than their size suggests." "Medical implants?" Vornash asked. "No, sir. This appears to be natural for their species." Chen smiled slightly. "We evolved on a high-gravity world. Our bodies adapted. High gravity. That explained some of it. But as the guards continued scanning, more oddities appeared. Their reaction times registered as impossibly fast. Their eyes could see a wider spectrum than most species. Their hearts beat slower than expected, but each beat pumped more blood. "You may proceed to the council chamber," Vornash said finally. He could find no reason to deny them. As they walked through the station, every being they passed stopped to stare. The humans ignored the attention, following Vornash through corridors designed for multiple species. They ducked under doorways meant for taller beings, stepped over channels meant for aquatic species, all without complaint or apparent difficulty. When they entered the council chamber, Chen walked to the center of the room. Her 2 companions stood behind her. "Members of the Galactic Council," she began. "Thank you for allowing us to speak. I bring greetings from Earth, the human homeworld, and from the 47 colonies of the Terran Union." 47 colonies? The Florani representative rustled her leaves in surprise. "How long have you been in space?" "We developed faster-than-light travel 90 Earth years ago." "About 83 standard galactic years." The room erupted in discussion. 83 years? Most species took centuries to establish that many colonies after discovering FTL travel. Silvara raised a hand for silence. "Captain Chen, where is Earth? Why have we not detected your colonies?" Chen touched a device on her wrist. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared. She pointed to a section in what the Council called the Dead Zone, an area of space filled with radiation, gravity anomalies, and other hazards. "Earth is here. Our colonies spread outward from this point." "Impossible," Kal said flatly. "That entire region is classified as uninhabitable. The radiation alone would kill most life forms." "Most life forms, yes," Chen agreed. "But humans evolved in those conditions. What you call dangerous, we call home." The Synthari processed this information. "You claim to have evolved in a high-radiation environment? The mutation rate would be catastrophic." It was. Our evolution was accelerated. We developed redundant DNA repair mechanisms, enhanced immune systems, and high resistance to toxins. What would kill other species often just makes us stronger. To demonstrate, Chen pulled out a small container and drank the liquid inside. The scanners immediately started alarming. The liquid contained enough heavy metals to poison any council species. "This is a nutritional supplement for humans," Chen explained casually. "We require trace amounts of elements that others find toxic." Vornash clicked his mandibles nervously. "Your warship. Explain its capabilities," Chen nodded. "The Defiance is a standard patrol vessel. It is not our most advanced ship, but it represents typical human engineering. Would you like a demonstration? Before anyone could respond, she continued. Your scanners are having trouble with our technology because we use principles you haven't discovered yet. For example, our hull incorporates programmable matter that can change its properties in real time. She touched her wrist device again. A section of the hologram zoomed in on the Defiance. As they watched, a portion of the hull visibly changed, becoming transparent, then mirror-like, then seeming to disappear entirely. This allows us to adapt to any threat or environment instantly. The ship can survive in a star's corona or the void between galaxies. And your weapons? Fornash pressed multiple systems. Directed energy weapons using frequencies you haven't weaponized yet. Kinetic weapons that accelerate projectiles to 70% light speed. And yes, we have developed controlled singularity weapons, though those are restricted to military vessels. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Singularity weapons, black hole guns, the theoretical ultimate weapon that every species had deemed too dangerous to develop. You said the Defiance is not a military vessel? Silvara's voice was carefully neutral. Correct. It's classified as a diplomatic patrol ship. Our actual warships are significantly more capable. Chen let that statement hang in the air. If this ship, with its impossible technology and terrifying weapons, was considered diplomatic, what were their warships like? Why reveal yourselves now? Kaal asked. You could have remained hidden in your dead zone. Because isolation helps no one, Chen replied. Humanity has learned from its history. We spent thousands of years fighting ourselves before we united. We know the cost of conflict. We also know the benefits of cooperation. She gestured to the assembled species. You have technologies we find interesting, biological adaptations we could learn from, art, culture, philosophy we would like to understand. In return, we offer our own knowledge and protection. Protection? Bornash straightened. The Zalathi Empire needs no protection. Perhaps not, Chen agreed diplomatically. But others might. We have noticed the pirate problem in this sector. We have observed 3 species on the edge of extinction from various threats. We have detected signs of something dangerous moving in from beyond the galactic edge. That last statement made everyone freeze. What signs? Silvara demanded. Ships disappearing. Entire systems going dark. Something is out there and it's moving inward. We've been tracking it for 5 years. The council exchanged worried looks. They had noticed the disappearances but assumed they were unconnected events. What do you want from us? Silvara asked. Recognition. A chance to trade and learn. Eventually perhaps membership in the council. Chen smiled. We are not conquerors. We are explorers and protectors. Let us show you. She touched her device again. With your permission, the Defiance can demonstrate its capabilities against a target drone. You can see for yourselves what humans bring to the galaxy. The council members looked at each other. Curiosity warred with fear. These humans were impossible. Their technology broke rules. Their biology defied logic. Their ship sat outside like a sleeping monster, but they had come in peace. They had followed protocols. They offered friendship. Very well, Silvara decided. Show us what your ship can do. Chen smiled, and for the first time the aliens noticed her teeth. Humans had the teeth of predators designed for tearing meat, but her smile was warm, friendly. The council members gathered at the observation deck, a transparent dome that gave them a perfect view of space. The Defiance floated 1,000 kilometers away, still looking like a sleeping predator. Captain Chen stood with them, relaxed and confident. We have prepared target drones, Vornash announced. 20 of them. They have full shields and armor equivalent to a military frigate. Chen nodded. That should be sufficient for a basic demonstration. Shall we begin? Before she could give the order, alarms screamed through the station. Red lights flashed. The defense grid activated automatically. Multiple contacts incoming. A technician shouted. 40 ships dropping out of FTL. They're not responding to communications. The ships appeared on the tactical display. They were a mix of different designs, all heavily modified with extra weapons and armor. Pirates. But this was not a random raid. This was a full assault fleet. How did they know the council was meeting? Kaal demanded. Bornash was already shouting orders to his fleet. All ships battle formation. Protect the station. The Zalathi warships began moving, but they needed time. The pirates had appeared close, much closer than should have been possible. Not as close as the Defiance had managed, but close enough to be dangerous. Plasma fire erupted from the pirate ships. The station's shields flared to life, absorbing the first volley. But there were too many attackers. The shields wouldn't last long. "Evacuate the lower levels," Silvara commanded. "All defensive stations return fire." Captain Chen touched her communicator. "Commander Walsh, we have a situation." A calm male voice responded. "We see it, Captain. 43 hostile vessels, mixed origins. Awaiting your orders." Chen looked at the council members. "May we assist?" Vornash wanted to refuse. His pride demanded it, but half his fleet was on patrol. The remaining ships were still getting into formation. The pirates would do serious damage before they could respond properly. "Yes," Silvara said before Vornash could speak. "Please help." Chen spoke one word into her communicator. "Engage." What happened next would be remembered in galactic history as the 17 seconds that changed everything. First, the Defiance moved. Not in a straight line like normal ships. It seemed to teleport, appearing in 3 different positions so fast that it left after images on the sensors. The pirates tried to target it, but their computers couldn't calculate a firing solution on something that didn't follow the laws of physics. Second, the Defiance split apart. The Council had thought it was one solid ship. They were wrong. It separated into 5 independent sections. Each section was fully armed and capable of fighting alone. They spread out in a pattern that made no tactical sense until the pirates started firing. Then everyone understood. The sections had positioned themselves to create overlapping fields of fire that covered every possible angle. Third, the weapons activated. Beams of energy lanced out, but not normal plasma or lasers. These beams were deep purple, almost black, and they didn't just burn through shields. They seemed to delete them. Whatever they touched simply stopped existing. A pirate cruiser tried to evade, but the beam tracked it perfectly, carving through its hull like it was made of paper. Fourth, the point defense systems engaged. The pirates launched missiles, hundreds of them. The Defiance didn't use conventional interception. Instead, tiny drones no bigger than a fist erupted from ports along its hull. Each drone generated a small field that aged anything inside it by millions of years in seconds. The missiles turned to dust before they could reach their targets. Fifth, the fighter craft launched. Except they weren't normal fighters. They phased in and out of reality, appearing inside the pirate ship's shield bubbles, firing and disappearing before anyone could respond. The Council's best scientists couldn't explain how it was possible. The humans had weaponized dimensional shifting. Sixth, the Defiance demonstrated its kinetic weapons. Railguns along its hull fired projectiles so fast they looked like lines of light. But these weren't simple metal slugs. Each projectile split into thousands of smaller fragments just before impact, each fragment seeking weak points in enemy armor. One shot could cripple a ship by destroying every external system simultaneously. Seventh, something happened that made even the battle-hardened Vornash step back in shock. A pirate battleship, the largest vessel in their fleet, fired everything it had at one of the Defiance's sections. The section didn't dodge. Instead, its hull rippled and became something else. The energy weapons were absorbed. The kinetic rounds passed through it like it wasn't there. Then the section became solid again and fired a single torpedo. The torpedo moved slowly, almost leisurely. The battleship tried to shoot it down, but the torpedo kept coming. When it hit, it didn't explode. Instead, a sphere of absolute nothingness expanded from the impact point. Everything within 50 meters simply ceased to exist. No debris, no energy discharge. Just a perfect sphere cut out of the battleship. By the 17th second, 20 pirate ships were destroyed. 10 more were crippled. The remaining 13 tried to flee, but the Defiance had positioned its sections to block their escape routes. "Captain," the voice from the Defiance said calmly, 13 hostiles attempting to retreat. "Shall we pursue?" "Negative," Chen replied. "Let them go. They'll spread the word about what happens to those who attack the innocent." The fleeing pirates jumped to FTL as soon as they could. The crippled ships floated helplessly, their weapons destroyed with surgical precision, but their life support intact. The 5 sections of the Defiance smoothly merged back into one ship. It moved back to its original position as if nothing had happened. The whole battle had taken less than 20 seconds. The observation deck was silent. Every alien stared at the tactical display, trying to process what they had witnessed. How? The Vormec representative's crystal body was flickering rapidly. a sign of extreme agitation. The energy requirements for what you just did. It's impossible, Chen looked apologetic. I should mention that the Defiance was still operating at about 30% combat effectiveness. We didn't want to cause unnecessary casualties. 30%? Vornash's mandibles clicked so fast it sounded like rattling. You destroyed a pirate fleet at 30% power? We prefer non-lethal solutions when possible, Chen explained. Notice that we disabled the engines and weapons on 10 ships but left life support functional. Their crews can be arrested and tried for piracy. Silvara floated closer to Chen, her transparent body pulsing with troubled light. Captain, I must ask directly. Could your ship have destroyed our station? Chen met her gaze steadily. High Mediator, the Defiance could destroy this entire star system. But that's not why we're here. We came to protect, not to threaten. One ship could destroy a star system? Kal's skin patterns showed pure fear. The Defiance carries Nova bombs as part of its standard loadout. They're for extreme emergencies only, such as containing a xenoplague or stopping a genocide. Every human ship captain takes an oath never to use them except to save lives. The casual mention of Nova bombs, weapons that could trigger a star to explode, sent another wave of shock through the council. You trust individual captains with such weapons? Silvara asked. We trust them because they're human, Chen said simply. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We survived by working together, by protecting each other. That instinct is coded into our genes. A human might die before breaking their oath to protect innocent life. Vornash looked at the crippled pirate ships. Why didn't you destroy them all? Because killing should never be the first option, Chen replied. Those pirates made bad choices, but they're still thinking beings. They deserve a chance at redemption through justice, not death. This philosophy, combined with overwhelming power, created a strange feeling in the council members. The humans could destroy anything they wanted, but they chose mercy when possible. The attack was not random, the Synthari announced, its mechanical mind having analyzed the patterns. The pirates knew exactly when to strike. They had inside information, Chen nodded. We noticed that too. The Defiance has been scanning their computer cores. We've found evidence of who hired them. She touched her device and new data appeared on the display. Payment records, communication logs, all pointing to one source, the Korvax, Vornash snarled. They hired pirates to attack during the council meeting. Kal's skin went pale gray, all patterns disappearing. That's not... I didn't... No, Chen interrupted. Not the Korvax government. A rogue faction within your military. They wanted to frame the Zalathi for the attack and use the chaos to claim the disputed system. She showed more evidence. Secret meetings, weapon shipments, communication between Korvax military officers and pirate leaders. How did you get this information? Kal demanded. The Defiance has been monitoring communications in this sector for weeks, preparing for our formal introduction. We don't spy on private citizens, but we do track criminal networks. Your rogue officers were sloppy. The revelation that humans had been watching, gathering intelligence, added another layer to the Council's growing understanding. These were not just powerful warriors. They were intelligent, patient, and thorough. What do you intend to do with this information? Silvara asked. Chen smiled. Nothing. It's your information now. How you handle internal corruption is your business. The council chamber had been reconfigured for a formal presentation. Captain Chen stood at the center, but now she was joined by her two companions who had remained silent until now. The male with red hair was introduced as Dr. James McCready, a xenobiologist. The dark-skinned woman was Lieutenant Commander Amara Okonkwo, a cultural specialist. You've seen what our ship can do, Chen began. Now we'd like to explain who we are, where we come from, and why we're really here. A hologram appeared showing a blue-green planet orbiting a yellow star. It looked peaceful from space. This is Earth, Chen said. Our homeworld. To most of you, it would be a nightmare. The image zoomed in, showing the surface. Massive storms raged across oceans. Volcanoes erupted. Earthquakes split the ground. The view shifted to show various environments. Frozen wastelands where the temperature dropped to -90 degrees. Deserts where it reached over 60 degrees. Jungles filled with plants and animals that all seemed designed to kill. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world by your standards. Dr. McCready spoke for the first time. His voice was warm, almost amused. In fact, you only created the Class 12 category after discovering our planet in your long-range surveys. Before that, Class 10 was considered the maximum hostility possible for life. The hologram showed various Earth creatures. A tiny spider whose venom could kill in minutes. A microscopic organism that could survive in boiling water. A fungus that controlled the minds of insects. A sea creature that could generate electricity. Plants that ate animals. Everything on Earth evolved in competition, McCready continued. Every organism fighting for survival. The weak died. The strong adapted. And humans. Humans were not the strongest. The image changed to show early humans. Small, weak compared to predators. No claws, no venom, no natural armor. We survived by being smart, Chen took over. We developed tools, language, cooperation. We turned our weakness into strength. But the most important adaptation wasn't physical. It was mental. Lieutenant Commander Okonkwo stepped forward. Humans developed something unique. We call it aggressive compassion. We would die to protect our tribe, but our definition of tribe kept expanding. First family, then clan, then nation, then species, and now, anyone who needs help. The hologram showed human history. Wars, yes, but also the aftermath. Enemies becoming allies. Rebuilt cities. Former foes working together. We spent 5,000 years perfecting the art of war, Chen said. We got very, very good at it, too good. We developed weapons that could end our world. Nuclear fire that could burn everything. Biological plagues that could kill everyone. Chemical weapons that could poison the planet. The aliens watched in horrified fascination as the hologram showed mushroom clouds. Dead cities, wastelands of destruction. And then we stopped, Chen said simply. We looked at what we had become and said no more. It took another century, but we united. Not through conquest, but through choice. Every nation, every people choosing to work together. How? Silvara asked. How did you overcome your nature? We didn't overcome it, Okonkwo replied. We redirected it. The same drive that made us fight each other could make us fight together against common challenges. Poverty, disease, ignorance, death itself. We turned our weapons into tools. Our soldiers became explorers. The hologram shifted to show human space exploration. The first rockets, the first colonies, the breakthrough to FTL travel. When we discovered faster-than-light travel, we found the galaxy was already occupied, Chen continued. So we stayed quiet and watched. We learned your languages, your cultures, your strengths and weaknesses. You spied on us, Fornash said. But there was no anger in it, just understanding. We studied you, Chen corrected, the same way we once studied predators on Earth. Not to hunt you, but to understand how to live alongside you. McCready pulled up new images. We discovered something interesting. Most spacefaring species evolved on paradise worlds, gentle, stable planets with few threats. You developed intelligence through curiosity and social cooperation. You reached the stars through patience and careful progress. But humans, Okonkwo added, humans reached the stars through desperation. Earth was dying from our mistakes. Climate change, pollution, resource depletion. We had to leave or perish. Necessity made us innovative. Fear made us fast. The hologram now showed human colonies, worlds that other species had marked as uninhabitable. Planets with gravity that would crush most beings. Moons with radiation that would cook unprotected life. Asteroid bases in the void between stars. We can live anywhere, Chen said. We can adapt to anything. Not because we're superior, but because we had to learn or die. The ship, Kyle said suddenly. The Defiance. You said it wasn't your most powerful. What is? Chen and her companions exchanged glances. Then Chen touched her device. The hologram changed to show a ship that made everyone in the room step back. It was 10 kilometers long. Where the Defiance was angular, this was something else entirely. It looked organic, like it had grown rather than been built. The hull seemed to ripple with energy. Weapon systems covered every surface, but they were integrated so smoothly that the ship looked almost artistic. This is the TUS Prometheus, Chen said quietly, a Terra-class dreadnought. We have 12 of them. Each one carries enough firepower to sterilize a planet or protect an entire star system. They're commanded by our most experienced captains, humans who have proven their dedication to preserving life. 12 of those? Fornash's voice was faint. Plus 40 battleships, 200 cruisers, and over 1,000 smaller vessels, Chen confirmed. But most are exploration ships, medical vessels, colony transports, and search and rescue craft. Our military is strong, but our true strength is in building, not destroying. Silvara floated forward. You mentioned Earth was dying from your mistakes. Did you save it? For the first time, Chen's expression showed real emotion, pride mixed with sadness. We did. It took 3 generations. We reversed the damage, cleaned the oceans, restored the forests. Earth is healing. But we learned our lesson. That's why we're here. She looked at each council member in turn. We've monitored your discussions. The territorial disputes, the resource conflicts, the slow slide toward major wars. You're making the same mistakes we did, but you don't have to. We can help. Help how? The Florani representative asked, her leaves rustling nervously. McCready answered, terraforming technology that can make dead worlds live. Energy systems that can harness stellar power safely. Medical knowledge gained from surviving everything Earth threw at us. Agricultural techniques that can feed billions. And in return? Fornash asked suspiciously. Knowledge, Okonkwo said immediately. Your art, your philosophy, your different ways of seeing the universe. The Aetheri's temporal perception. The Florani's biological harmony. The Synthari's computational logic. The Vormax energy manipulation. Each species has something unique, something valuable. And protection, Chen added. You mentioned pirates. They're just a symptom. There are worse things in the galaxy. Ancient machines that consume entire systems. Biological horrors that infect whole species. And yes, something is moving in from outside the galaxy. We've been tracking it for years. What is it? Silvara demanded. We don't know yet, Chen admitted. But it's destroyed 17 systems in the outer rim. Whatever it is, it's heading this way. No single species can stop it. But together we might have a chance. The room fell silent. The council members were processing not just what they had heard, but what it meant. Humans were offering partnership, but they were also warning of danger. You could conquer us, Kyle said bluntly. With your technology, your ships, you could rule the galaxy. Chen nodded. Yes, we could. But what would be the point? Ruling through fear? Forcing compliance? We tried that on Earth. It led to centuries of suffering. True strength isn't making others kneel. It's helping them stand. Pretty words, Fornash clicked. But how do we know you mean them? Chen smiled. Because we're giving you a choice. We've shown you our power. We've offered our help. Now we're leaving it up to you. The Defiance will remain here for 7 standard days. You can examine it, scan it, talk to our crew, learn about us. Then decide. Decide what? Silvara asked. Whether humanity joins the Galactic Council as observers with the goal of eventual full membership, whether you want our help with the threats we've identified, whether you're ready for the galaxy to change. She turned to leave, then stopped. One more thing. Computer, display Earth current view. The hologram shifted to show Earth in real time. The planet was still blue and green, but now it was surrounded by structures, orbital habitats, shipyards, defense platforms, and something else. Letters written in light, visible from space in every language of the Galactic Council. Welcome, friends. Let us grow together. You wrote messages in our languages on your world. The Florani was amazed. We've been preparing for this moment for 20 years, Chen said. Every human child learns at least one alien language. Our universities study your cultures. Our artists create works inspired by your forms. Our scientists work to understand your biology. We've been getting ready to be your neighbors, your partners, maybe even your friends. She and her companions walked toward the door. 7 days had passed. The Galactic Council chamber was fuller than it had ever been. Representatives from every member species were present, even those from the far colonies who rarely attended meetings. Word had spread through the galaxy about the humans, and everyone wanted to witness this historic moment. During the week, delegations had visited the Defiance. The ship's crew, 300 humans of various appearances and backgrounds, had welcomed them warmly. The aliens had seen impossible things. A medical bay that could heal injuries in minutes. A garden growing earth plants in perfect harmony. A recreation room where humans practiced combat sports that would kill most species, laughing as they threw each other around. They had met more humans. Engineers who spoke excitedly about theoretical physics. Doctors who wanted to learn about alien biology. Cooks who had somehow prepared food that each species could eat and enjoy. Children, because humans brought their families on diplomatic missions, who tried to learn alien games and teach their own in return. Now Captain Chen stood before the council again, but this time she was not alone. Behind her stood 50 humans from the Defiance, all different, various skin colors, body types, ages. They stood together, unified in their diversity. The 7 days have passed, Silvara announced. The council has deliberated. We have questions before we make our decision. Chen nodded. We'll answer anything we can. Vornash stood first. During our visit to your ship, we noticed something odd. Your crew wasn't just military. There were scientists, artists, families. Why? Because that's what humanity is, Chen replied. We don't separate ourselves into rigid categories. A soldier can be a poet. A scientist can be a parent. We believe experiencing all aspects of life makes us better at whatever role we serve. The Vormak representative hummed. Your technology. You showed us the power source for the Defiance, a contained microstar. The energy output is impossible by our physics. Dr. McCready stepped forward. Not impossible, just approach differently. You try to extract energy from stellar objects. We create stellar objects designed to produce energy. It took us 40 years and many failures, but we learned from each mistake. Failures? Kal asked. What kind of failures? The kind that destroyed 3 moons and 1 small planet and uninhabited systems, McCready admitted. That's why we test things very, very far from anyone who could be hurt. The casual mention of accidentally destroying planets while testing power sources sent murmurs through the crowd. The Florani representative rustled her leaves. We studied your botanical garden. You're growing plants from 12 different worlds, including ours. How did you get them? Probe missions, Lieutenant Commander Okonkwo explained. Tiny automated collectors that gathered samples without disturbing the ecosystems. We wanted to understand your biology, your chemistry. Plants tell us about the worlds they come from. You've been collecting pieces of our worlds? Vornash sounded offended. Small samples only, Chen assured him. And we've learned wonderful things. Florani plants can communicate through chemical signals more complex than most computer networks. Zelathi fungi can survive in hard vacuum. Vormak crystals grow in patterns that solve mathematical equations. Every world has miracles. The Syntheri spoke next. We analyzed your computer systems. They use quantum processing, but also something else. Something we cannot identify. Biological components, Chen said. Modified human neurons grown in synthetic matrices. They provide intuition and pattern recognition that pure machines cannot match. It's the marriage of organic creativity and digital precision. You put human brain tissue in your computers? The Delphini representative's voice was shocked through his water suit. Cloned tissue, never from a living person, Chen clarified, and only with volunteers who donate their genetic patterns. It's considered an honor. Part of you lives on, helping humanity explore the stars. This revelation, that humans would merge their own biology with technology so freely, added another layer to the Council's understanding of these strange beings. Silvara floated to the center of the room. Captain Chen, we have observed your crew carefully. They show no fear. Not of us, not of space, not of death. Why? Chen was quiet for a moment, choosing her words carefully. We fear. We just fear the right things. We don't fear death. We fear living without purpose. We don't fear aliens. We fear missing the chance to learn from you. We don't fear space. We fear staying trapped on one world until something destroys it. And war? Vornash asked. Do you fear war? More than anything, Chen said immediately. We fear war because we're so good at it. We fear what we become when we have to fight. That's why we work so hard for peace. The Council exchanged glances. This was the heart of it. The humans were powerful enough to take whatever they wanted, but they were held back by their own understanding of what that power could do. The outside threat, Kal said. You've mentioned it several times. Tell us what you really know. Chen touched her device. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, but this time it showed the outer edge. 17 star systems were marked in red. These systems have gone dark in the past 5 years, she said. Not destroyed, not conquered, just empty. Every living thing gone. Planets intact but sterile. We've sent probes. Whatever killed these worlds left no trace except the absence of life. A plague? The Florani asked fearfully. We don't think so. The pattern suggests intelligence. It's moving inward systematically, taking systems in a specific order. We think it's testing our responses, learning about us. And you want to fight it? Silvara asked. We want to stop it, Chen corrected. Fighting may not be the answer. Maybe it can be reasoned with. Maybe it's searching for something. But we need to be ready for all possibilities. Vornash clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. If we refuse, your membership, will you still defend the galaxy? Yes, Chen said without hesitation. We'll protect any innocent life whether they accept us or not, but we'll be more effective working together. The room fell silent. The moment had come. Silvara spoke for the council. We have reached our decision. The introduction of humanity to the galactic community represents the greatest change in our history. Your technology surpasses ours. Your biology defies our understanding. Your philosophy challenges our assumptions. She paused, and Chen stood straighter, preparing for rejection. Therefore, Silvara continued, the Galactic Council formally welcomes the Terran Union as an observer member, with full membership to be reviewed in 1 standard year. The humans behind Chen smiled, some shaking hands, others embracing, but Chen herself remained formal. Thank you, High Mediator. We accept with gratitude and humility. But, Vornash interrupted, we have conditions. Chen nodded. We're listening. First, human military technology will be shared gradually, allowing other species time to adapt and understand it. Second, any human colonies established in Council space must follow Council law. Third, Earth must accept ambassadors from all member species. Agreed, Chen said immediately. We also have offers. She gestured and several humans stepped forward carrying devices. Star charts of safe systems for colonization, free for any species to claim. Medical databases with treatments for thousands of diseases. Agricultural techniques that can triple food production, and immediate assistance to any world-facing crisis. And the Korvax situation? Kal asked nervously. The evidence Chen had provided had led to arrests in his government. Already forgotten, Chen said. Every species has corruption to root out. What matters is that you're addressing it. Vornash stood and approached Chen. The massive insectoid towered over the human woman, but she showed no fear. You could have been our conquerors, he said. Instead, you choose to be our protectors. I do not fully understand humans yet, but I think I want to. He extended one of his clawed hands. Chen took it without hesitation, her small human hand nearly disappearing in his grip. That's all we ask, she said. A chance to know each other. The Florani representative swayed forward. Captain, you showed us that Earth message. Let us grow together. Did all humans agree to that? Chen smiled. It took 3 years of debate. Every nation, every culture, every group had input. The final wording was chosen by a vote of 7 billion people. The first thing humanity ever truly agreed on was that we wanted to be friends with whoever we found among the stars. That statement, more than all the technology and power, seemed to resonate with the Council. A species that could unite billions of individuals toward a single peaceful goal was perhaps more remarkable than any weapon. What happens now? Silvara asked. Now, we begin, Chen said. Human ships will start patrolling the shipping lanes, dealing with pirates. Our medical vessels will visit worlds that need help. Our scientists will work with yours. And when that threat from outside shows itself again, we'll be ready. She turned to address the full chamber. Humanity spent thousands of years learning the wrong lessons. We learned how to destroy, how to conquer, how to hate. It nearly killed us. But from that darkness we found light. We learned that strength isn't about being able to destroy your enemies. It's about being able to protect your friends. She gestured to the stars visible through the chamber's transparent ceiling. The galaxy just got bigger for all of us. Humans bring our strength, but we also bring our dreams.